going, lady? Yo, what's good, my peoples? It's IllRoller16 bringing you guys another video. Today's gonna be a quick install of the strut tower bars, strut tower braces, whatever you want to call them, on the All Motor MX3 project right behind me right here. So we're gonna install that today, front and rear. The front is real simple. I'll go through all the details on the front, and then on the rear too, we got to trim a couple interior pieces, but it should definitely help with the rigidity, stiffness of the car some, and anything to make old chassis like this stiffer and more rigid is definitely gonna help in the handling and just the overall feel of the car. Already did the inner and outer tie rods, did the lower ball joints. Next project of the day, tie rods, inner, outer, and ball joints. Tighten up the steering on this car. I'm driving a lot to Tampa. Here's the old one. No sort of support. Here's a new one. And just want to continue to keep doing bushings and stuff like that to get the car back to its former glory. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this install started. I'll throw on the chest mount and bring you guys with me. Let's go. Hey. All right, so let's get started. The front is real simple. You're probably wondering why I jacked up the car. So the car's up on jack stands and secured. And the way I install strut bars is under no tension on the strut towers, meaning it's elevated off the ground. That's the way I learned how to install the strut bars, or I prefer to install the strut bars. Some people just install them on the ground, no big deal, but I just think there's less chassis flex with the car up on the jack stands, and that way, you know, you get as tight as a fit as possible on the strut tower bar. So yeah, we need a 14 millimeter and that's it. So let's do the front. Probably should disconnect the battery. I'm gonna undo the mounts, and then we'll do the bar last and tighten it as tight as possible. This bar, once again, is for Ford Probe MX6. If you're putting this on an MX3 or a 323 or a Protege, whatever. So, since it's for an MX6 Probe, the bolts are offset just a tiny little bit, so I'm just gonna hit the bottom corners and open up the holes a little bit, and it should fit no problem. But yeah, it's not a perfect fit on the front. The rear will be a perfect fit because it's made for the MX3, but this is a MX6 Probe. Other than that, everything's pretty much spot on. So yeah, sucks, but you gotta do it. You could probably also do this with a Dremel. All right, right, so same thing for the passenger side. Driver's side's all buttoned up. Well, almost. I just got to put the AC bracket back on. So both the strut towers are on. I'm being 100% honest with you. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass. Had to hit it with the mallet. Had to put like 2 bolts on, hit it with a mallet after drilling out the holes, and eventually it contoured and it's on. You want to make sure that whole thing is, the whole strut tower sits on the inside of the grooves. So both sides are on. Let's go ahead and get the bar and that's it. I'm gonna leave everything pretty loose. Still doesn't reach, so I'm gonna add some length on the other side. Just twisting the bar. That way one side's not super long and the other's not. Want about the same amount of threads showing. I'm loosening all the suspension bolts just while I adjust the strut bar and put it as tight as possible. This is just the way I'm doing it. You ain't gotta do it this way. All right, that's snug. All right, that's snug. Now we can tighten up all the strut bolts. I ended up putting the AC bracket here. I just had to flip it around. All right, strut tower bar in the rear. Take off this plastic and this plastic, and we might have to do a little trimming. These plastics need to be replaced anyway. So, again, they're not in the best condition, so just gonna undo a screw here, and then the screw here. There it goes. Under the seat belt. So got to undo these 2 14s, and then we can do the strut bar up. matched up. Now I can see where I got to cut. Let me see if I can turn on the flash. Hold up. You can see I got to cut a slit up in there for that to sit flush, and then I probably have to cut a slit here in the plastic. All right, my peoples. Did a little trimming, and now everything fits. Let me lay it in here. I'll probably put a little bit of rubber gasket, not rubber gasket, but little pieces of rubber. Little rubber grommet in between everything to make sure, but then all the interior should go right on top, and even the seatbelt should go on top, so I think we'll be all right. So let's go. Car's up on jack stands reinforced by the jack, and now we're gonna tighten this up and we're done. All right. All right, my people, so that pretty much wraps it up for the front and rear strut bar install. Stay tuned right after the video for some impressions after I take it driving, take some turns, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. Lady. Little heel toe action. I definitely feel the difference with the strut brace. The front and rear, with the rear tie bar, definitely more rigid. I wish we just had more options, man, that tied more chassis points. Stay tuned for the next videos. Going to do the rear diffuser. Going to give a review on the ceramic window tint that I've had on there for about a year now. All the way around, including the windshield, so we'll go over that. And then also going to do the rebuild on the Turbo MX3. I just got done ordering the rods and dropping more stuff off at the machine shop, so hopefully we'll be able to get it up and running here shortly. So anyways, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, please help support the channel. If you've watched this far, just go ahead and subscribe, hit the notifications. It's much appreciated. This is Roller 16 checking out. Salute.